Australia doesn't lead the cycle. So really, Australia is just not going to turn down until America does. And it's the US you have to follow. The thing about Australia is it's just got so much land that's available. It just can keep expanding virtually indefinitely, in the same way, sort of. But historically, the cycle shows that in the US from 74, the Industrial Revolution, once land was really started to be enclosed in the US, it gave rise to a cycle. And, as I put in my book, Secret Life of Real Estate and Banking, history reveals that there is an approximate 18 to 20 year cycle of land prices, earnings of land going up for 14 or so years, and then they reach a pinnacle and then they seem to collapse for a couple of years. It just seems to be the way it is. And so far, 2012 or so, as you know, we've been speaking for more than a decade now, I've stuck to that forecast. I've stuck to that to say property prices would continue to go up. The cycle can never happen exactly the same way. It has to be different. Otherwise everybody would see it. We got a bit of a pandemic after 2020. The problem was interest rates going up as they have the past year. The problem really was they just went too low for too long, and they had to come back up at some particular point, because you can't have interest rates at zero forever, because something has to cost a little bit to borrow. So there will be some places when property prices went up so high because interest rates were put down so low, you have to get a reaction. And when prices do go up, you'll get a reaction in certain places. That's just all part of the cycle. But the US drives the cycle, and if history is to repeat, we'll get a history like what happened from 2003 to 2007. They were big years. People forget, but the property prices practically doubled. A repeat of 1983 into 87, 88. Property prices did double in that late 1980s. Prices doubled again in the late 1960s. So if we get that 20-year repeat, then we're on track. And so, here we are at the moment. We've been through heaps, and I still think, I've been able to say when we get to here, it's property prices would keep going up in average. They have pretty much, certainly in the US. And, in the US, you've got a lot of mortgaged borrowers that are a little bit different to Australia. They're still on low rates, and they'll be on low rates for the life of the mortgage. So the problem we've got in America, a lot of people on a mortgage in America can't shift because they're on such a low mortgage, they'd have to take out a high one to shift, which is creating a shortage of housing. So things are in place, I think, for the cycle to repeat. We'll just have to see what happens.